Hi guys, back with another episode of Opening a Christian Coffee Shop in 365 Days. This week's task was to start our business plan. There are a lot of things that we need to figure out before finalizing it, but I was able to get the majority of it done. At the end of this video, I'll do a full walkthrough through what we have so far and even give you a copy of our template in case you want to use it. One of the big things that we really need to figure out before knowing our finances is what kind of building do we want. There are really three ways we can go about this. The first is we can buy land and build from scratch, which would be so much fun because I have an architecture background and I love designing buildings. The second one would be buy an old building, renovate it, and kind of make it our own. And the third one would be not to buy at all because that is pretty pricey, but instead to just lease out a building that's already available for us. But to learn more about this and kind of what it costs and what it takes, I needed to find a realtor. So that is the first thing I did this week after looking at business plans. To find a realtor, there's a lot of different ways to go about it or that you can do it. The way I did it was I posted in our local entrepreneur group and I asked people for recommendations. I had a lot of realtors reach out to me right away and it felt like very salesy and they didn't seem to read what we were doing or care about what we were doing. It just seemed like they wanted a sale. So I really wanted to find someone who was Christian, who understood our mission and our vision and would be excited with us for this project. And I'm so happy I found someone. She is perfect. As soon as she sent me her first message, I knew that this was the person I wanted to work with. Her name is Annabelle, and in her first message she said, and I quote, "I am so excited about your new project. I totally believe when God puts a dream in your heart and mind, God already gave you the tools to accomplish that dream." That alone sold me because this is someone who not only believes in what we're doing and understands the risk we're taking for this business, but is also excited to see it come together. She also gave me a book recommendations called Be a Circle Maker, and I started listening to it while I was taking care of my baby.
Bold prayers honor God, and God honors bold prayers.
I found it so inspiring, this idea of we need to ask for big things from God because God is capable. And when we do things that are huge, that are outside of what we are capable of, then it glorifies God. Anyways, I found that super inspiring and I just wanted to put it out there in case you guys are entrepreneurs and you're thinking about doing something brave and starting your own business. This is something that could encourage you from reading it. Okay, here is the business plan. It's gonna be kind of boring and long because it's really not a fun, entertaining thing. Like we're gonna go see buildings, which I'm hoping is gonna happen next Saturday. But it's super useful and helpful if you're trying to open a coffee shop or you're trying to open a business. I'm going to show you really quick. I created this one sheet where you could put your whole business plan on one sheet. Kind of just helps you get a quick overview of your business plan. And then I actually used a Canva template that was already there. I didn't create it. And I just tweaked it to make it our own. And that's where I created our full business plan. I am so excited to share the business plan with you. I think it's so pretty. I found this really great template on Canva and I tweaked it a lot because there's a lot of things that I felt like were missing for our business, but it's such a great start. And the designer of this template is incredible. All her work, I looked at her portfolio, all her work is just really, really good. So I'll link it to on our blog so you guys can use it. I will also link the exact one or our direct template in case you want to duplicate it and read it more in detail. It's pretty long, so I don't want to read everything. I'm just going to summarize a lot of it and I'm going to skip some pages. But if you want to really see it, you will find a link on our blog. Okay, to get started, it's our inspiration collage, which you guys probably have seen a million times by now. And then we just have like a little blurb. This is the business plan. This is a 365-day challenge to launching and the verse that our brand name is based off of. So let's get started. What is in this business plan? First of all, why do you need a business plan? So there are multiple reasons. One, if you want to have investors, they need to understand your business and they want to see that you're prepared. Two, if you want to apply for loans, grants, all of that stuff, they want to see that as well. And three, for your own team. just so that you are all on the same page. It all actually really helped me get organized and get strategized on every section. So I highly recommend you do it, even if you don't need to apply for loans or finances. Okay, the other thing to mention is there are so many ways to do a business plan. Do not feel like there's only one way to do it. There's different sections that they recommend. I believe when I was researching, I narrowed it down to about 7 sections. And then when I actually created it, I created way more sections, as you see here, just because it made sense to kind of go deeper in some of the sections like a design inspiration or our checklists. What I'll do is I'll just go through it and I'll kind of tell you what you need to do if you do it yourself. But all of those resources will be on the blog so you can do it as well yourself. So what we have in here is executive summary, company overview, mission and vision, our goals, our sales strategy, our marketing plan, management team, that's basically who you start out with, market research, operations, design inspiration, financials, which I still need to finish. It's going to be a lot harder to do financials. I have to really pull a spreadsheet together, call companies, get quotes, and all of that. And 2 last things is checklist and our final thoughts, which is kind of a letter from Zach and I to whoever is going to be reading this. Executive summary is basically, if you look at a book and on the back of the book, there's a summary of the book. That's what this is, because business plans are really long. You want to have a really short summary of your business. So this is our business. I will read this one out loud and I won't go into like the detailed ones in the next slides. So this is a husband and wife, the husband and wife team behind Rejoicing the Good, which is our current brand, which is a Christian resource and apparel, decided to expand their community from the web to in person by building a coffee shop in Treasure Valley, Idaho. Rejoicing the Good Coffee will provide a welcoming environment for friends and families to get together. There will be a variety of elements to encourage connections and grow our community, such as outdoor movie nights, fun workshops, guest speakers, and even worship nights. The coffee shop will be offering high-quality coffee, a menu using locally sourced ingredients, an event space that will also be available for rent, and a curated gift shop. We will differentiate ourselves through our faith-based values, our community events, and our commitment to exceptional customer service. Okay, let's begin. Company overview. This is just basics for investors to know: the legal structure, where we're located, our objectives, where we are with finances right now, etc. Next is our mission and vision. Mission is kind of like the heart behind what you do, and vision is kind of like the long-term vision you have for your brand. So for our mission, we said to cultivate a community for local families and create a joyful space for them to enjoy good coffee, meet new people, shop, and learn together. Our vision is long-term, we want Rejoicing the Good Coffee to be the place where people get excited to go, a place where they have fond memories of how they met so-and-so, which led to wonderful friendships. With our growing community, we want to do good together by volunteering for our local charities and helping those in need. Our goals. These are our 5 main goals for our business, something that we'll want to come back to over and over again to make sure that we're staying true to who we are. Goal number 1, cultivate community. Duh, that's the heart. That's why we want to do this. Goal number 2, provide great coffee and locally sourced food. Goal number 3, do good for our community. Goal number 4, curate a cute gift shop. That's me. Goal number 5, inspire people to be creative. And then I have a breakdown of each goal, how to get there, and some challenges to think about. I'm not going to read these, but you can click on the link and read them through detailed. But it really does help if your goals have kind of a step to get to them. Otherwise, they're probably never going to happen. Okay, what's next? Sales strategy. So how are we going to make money? Have you heard having multiple streams of income is really good for your business? That way, if something doesn't do well one month, the other thing you have will do well, and it balances everything out. And I've talked to a lot of people or friends who own coffee shops, and they've told me that the profit margin on coffee alone is actually really small. So it's hard to be profitable as a coffee shop unless you are selling food. Well, not only are we going to sell our food, we're also going to sell curated products and flowers. We're also going to have our event space, which we'll rent out and have events. And we still have our online shop, which will not be for only local, but we'll have an e-commerce store for all over the US. Which, look at this new cute sweater or hoodie, really. I have all these new summer colors that I love. I just got the samples back. I can't wait to get them up on the website. Okay, and then I have a detail of each product. This is kind of like the menu for the food and drinks, kind of what products I want in our gift shop. All the basics, things that you can gift to other people. Which I just want to mention the flowers portion of it. I don't know if we want to do flowers, if I want to bring in my sister-in-law because she does really beautiful flower bouquets. I don't know if I want to bring her in for her to do it for us or for her to own her own flower shop in our coffee shop. Or third option is to sublease it to someone else. So if you know someone who would just be super passionate about that and is in the area, have them contact me and we can talk more details. Okay, third is event space. This is all of the events. I love hosting events, so it will be so much fun to do. I listed all the indoor and outdoor events that we would want to do. Some of them will be paid, some of them will be free, some of them will be hosted by other people and not our own company. Did that rhyme? Almost rhymed. Product 4 is our website. You guys already know our site where we create apparel based on the books of the Bible. I would love in the future, like maybe 5-10 years from now, to have a church line of clothes that doesn't have bumper sticker designs, if you know what I mean, but just really quality made items that are not trendy. But that's a whole nother business, and that's not something I'm gonna focus on anytime soon. Oh, marketing. This is my favorite. So I've been in marketing for over 15 years. I absolutely love marketing. I actually didn't even know that you could be a marketing person until I accidentally stumbled upon it. The reason I love marketing is because I'm a very analytical person. So I love looking at the data, but I'm also a super creative person. So you'll have, and that's kind of what a marketing director is, you have a mix of both coming together. So these are just some marketing ideas to start with, and then we'll have some campaigns probably every month and every year and anytime we can think about it. So some of the marketing ideas that you could probably do for your company as well is hosting community events, which I've kind of already mentioned the types of events we could do, having a digital presence, social media. This is what we're doing right now is a huge social media campaign. 365 days to launching a coffee shop. That's pretty big. We're going to be videotaping every week on our progress. And then we're going to continue to do series on social media as well. Loyalty program, pretty standard. Word of mouth marketing. If we have good customer service, you get good word of mouth marketing. Special menu days. This one was Zach's idea, and I think it's so fun. He basically said we could have a build your own toast bar day where we'll bring in all these ingredients and you can customize your own toast, and maybe we can even have a competition on who makes the most creative toast. Is it going to be avocado toast with bell peppers on, or is it going to be a peanut butter with chocolate chips, or whatever it may be? I think that would be so fun. And then influencer partnerships, again, pretty standard in this day and age. And lastly will be collaborations, which could be either through pop-ups where we do pop-ups at another location like a church, or other businesses do pop-ups and sell their stuff in our parking lot or our location. We could also do collaborations like do a fundraiser with another business and together we do a 5K or something like that. But yeah, collaborating with our community is going to be a pretty big one. The management team is the team that you start out with. So you have Zach and I, which are going to be the owners. I'm going to be pretty much the main one running the coffee shop. Zach is currently a paralegal and he's going back to law school, I believe, in a month. He's going to become a lawyer, which is so exciting. And truthfully, Zach really loves his job and we love his bosses. They've been so supportive of our family, supportive of us having a baby, of moving to another location, and now even supportive of him going back to school. So when he becomes a lawyer, he would love to continue to work with them as a lawyer. He's also going to use that law degree to help our own business growth. And he's going to be there for all the big decisions in the coffee shop. But the day to day will be pretty much me, and all the social media stuff will probably be me. um, and then the next person we're going to hire or start out with is our friend Josh. He's been in the coffee industry since he was like 20 years old. He's worked for coffee shops. He's had his own coffee cart business. He knows about roasting, about latte art, all of that. We know nothing about that. So we're actually going to hire him to come in and teach our team. So anytime we have a new team that we want to hire, we'll have him come in and do like training. We'll also have him come in and do like fun menu ideas so he can play with different drinks and we can create different lattes, maybe for seasonal or just like one-off fun ideas. And once we have a full-time barista, he will train that barista to train the next ones and so on. So speaking of the rest of the team, it would basically be, I forgot to put the responsibilities for the manager, basically me, because I'll be doing everything. There's no way we'll fit in 3 bullet points. But the other roles will be a barista who will be full-time. They're the ones who are, like I said, going to train everyone else. They're also going to be in charge of checking equipment, making sure all the brewing equipment operates properly. And then we'll have a bunch of part-time baristas. I think we're going to start with 4. It just depends on their schedule, how many we'll have. They're going to be in charge of pretty much barista skills, which I grabbed from the web, but I'm sure we'll tweak it and add more and subtract the other ones. We'll have our coffee consultant, as I just mentioned, and I think we'll add one more probably not to start with, but in the future is a chef. If we want to have a full kitchen and have really cool seasonal meals, then we need to bring someone in who specializes in that. Okay, this was the not so fun part. We're now talking about market research and what is the market industry, and then we're going to be talking about financing. So it's something that I've thought was going to be super hard, but actually was easier than I thought. There's a lot of resources out there. I linked one here so you guys can look at it and look at the report. Generally, coffee shop businesses have been growing every year. It did stop, however, during COVID, which is so sad. So many coffee shops closed during COVID, and it's now slowly starting to rise back up again. So there's potential to open a coffee shop and be successful in the market. And then target market basically means who is your primary audience. A lot of times when I talk to people who don't know marketing, when you talk about this, they kind of just say everyone. But it's really, really hard to talk to everyone. You really want to like narrow down your persona. Who is it that you're talking to? What is it that they love to do? Where are they normally hanging out? And all of those things. If you understand that, then you will know how to talk to them and how to market to them, because marketing is really just problem solving. So you're going to be problem solving for the specific person. You can't not solve everybody's problems. So for us, the target market, the primary one, like you can really narrow down, is going to be Christian families with kids, especially young Christian families. There's so many here in the Treasure Valley, and we want to have a kid-friendly space, so that's going to be our primary one. Secondary is going to be Christian college students, and thirdly is entrepreneurs. So those who are going to come with their laptops and work and hang out and have meetings, those are the secondary and third audience. Our entrepreneurs, the cool thing is we just started a Christian entrepreneur group in the Treasure Valley. So if you're local and you're a Christian entrepreneur, let me know. I'll invite you to that. And where we have a meeting pretty much every month and help each other out in our businesses. We'll have like workshops on different topics in business. So I think it'd be fun to like host that kind of group at our own place and have like a meeting room for them. Key statistics, this is basics, just our age that we're targeting. We're targeting male and female, religion, etc. And then before finances, we have competitor analysis, which was really fun to do. I actually love how many Christian businesses there are in the Treasure Valley. These three that I mentioned here, they're all owned by Christian, either husband and wife teams or Christian owners. Um, and it's just really cool, and I love to support them. I think they all have really great strengths. Weaknesses, they're not really major weaknesses. I feel like they're just opportunities for us to kind of do better on. Most of it has to do with the fact that they don't have specific children area, which I don't remember ever seeing a coffee shop that had a specific playground or children area. So that's definitely something we want to do. Um, the cool thing about Coffee and Supply Co., the first one, is they had a boutique. So just like us, we want to have a gift shop inside. They had one in their shop, and then they just recently bought the location right next door, and they moved their shop to a full-size shop. So that's really cool. So excited and stoked for them to grow. And they have a really great community. They've been around for a while. Every time I go, there's families with kids running around, people working. People love them, and I don't blame them. I think they're amazing. Next up is Bond and Bevel. They're in Caldwell, and they're also husband and wife team. The husband makes leather goods, so they have a little shop inside. It's like a whole wall from it's all shelves from the bottom to the ceiling. It's beautiful. They built it, and they sell leather goods, and they also sell kind of like a man goods. Like think about camping and knives and axes, like and like leather and like dark colors. That's kind of what they do. It's beautiful, very high quality, and their shop is really cool. Um, they're a little bit far from us, so I don't think we would be direct competition, which in general, I feel like coffee shops are not competing for one another because people love to go from coffee shop to coffee shop and like change it up. So I feel like if anything, these are people that we want to collaborate with and work with. And then the newest one is Pine Coffee in Boise. They're owned by a family, I believe, in Washington who's Christian. And also the management team who's currently working in there is also Christian. They have a really aesthetic place, it's very beautiful, and they have a great outdoor space. They're newer, so not that many people know about them, but I think they will do really well in the long run. So here is the SWOT analysis, kind of or like analyzing what we can do better and where we're at. So our strengths, we'll have an event space, right? We already have an e-commerce store. We'll launch a boutique. We're going to be very photogenic and artistic. We're all about community building. Our weaknesses, this is so embarrassing. No prior knowledge to coffee. Even though we're opening a coffee shop, no prior knowledge to coffee. We'll bring in someone for that, as I mentioned before. So don't worry, we'll have good coffee. The other weakness is we're new and not established. It will take us a sec to get there. And we have, I think the scariest one of all is we don't have any secured funds yet. So we're starting from zero. We have zero money. We're going to have to do Kickstarter. We're going to have to do loans. We're going to have to do grants. We're going to have to do everything we can to pretty much finance this dream. We're just going to pray that God will make it happen and it will come together, and we're going to be good stewards and just go for it and trust Him. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It wasn't meant to be, or it wasn't meant to be now. But we have faith that it's going to work out. And then the other weakness, which is tied to business loans, is no prior experience of owning a coffee shop. So small business loans are absolutely great for coffee shops, but they want to see that you owned a coffee shop before, which is really hard because how do you start a coffee shop without money? But you can't get a loan without owning a coffee shop. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of those things where like you just graduated and you have to have 10 years of work experience, but you weren't going to school, that kind of idea. Opportunities. There are a lot of families with kids in the area, so I think they'll love the space. There's a large conservative audience here, so I think there's going to be people who are going to appreciate what we're doing. And then another opportunity is spreading the word about our coffee shop through social media and networking, which is kind of what we're doing through this series. Our threats, COVID shut a lot of businesses down. I don't think it's going to happen again, but there's always the idea of the government can do that whole mandate again in a different way. So that's always going to be a threat for us. The other threat is getting hate, because we're going to be publicly Christian as a business. Yeah, you never know with that stuff. And then the last one is just rent. Like, I know a friend who had a coffee shop here, and when her lease ended and she wanted to renew it again, they bumped her rent, they doubled it. So they unfortunately had to close down. So when you're leasing, you have no control over that. And it's kind of a sad thing when you have to close just because of that, especially when you had such a good community. Um, the other thing is, if we buy, just it's expensive in this economy to buy land and build here. Okay, operations, pretty basic. We're going to be open Monday through Saturday. We're just closed on Mondays. Well, did I say Monday through Tuesday to Saturday from 7 to 4, and then we'll have event time so you can rent out the space from 6 to 8 p.m. And then Sundays will be open between church, between 1 and 4 p.m., and that one will be more family style, lunch and coffee and hangout. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how far I pushed financing, but there's a reason. It's challenging. Okay, before financing, we have our design inspiration, which was surprisingly also hard because I had a couple different styles on my Pinterest board saved. And I think we're gonna have to like narrow down even more and probably work with a professional to get it done. Even though I worked in architecture, when it comes to my own projects, it's just a lot harder to do. If you're in design, you kind of know what I mean. So I actually have a friend who's an interior designer who might help us with this part of it. Okay, so our inspiration is, well, we want to have like a gated patio area just so kids can be safe and not run into the street. We also want to have an outdoor sitting area. We want to have large murals to take photos of. We want to have a cool gift shop, flowers in the gift shop, pops of Christian messaging throughout it. And overall style will be like this natural wood with like our blue from our logo in the coffee shop. Now is the financing, and I am sorry to let you down. I don't have this done. In fact, none of these numbers are accurate. I started writing in here and that's about it. What I've realized is to actually guess how much it costs for startup, which if you look up how much does a coffee shop startup cost, it's anywhere from like 70K to like 500K. It's very big range. To really find out those numbers, you have to find out how much every little thing costs, and that's going to be really hard. Like, I'm going to have to call someone and get an estimate for building a building, get an estimate for permits, get an estimate for buying something as simple as a coffee cup. So I'm going to have to do a full-on spreadsheet, which will probably be its own video on just financial projections. And the one thing I do want to say is I want to do like a section about like startup costs, and then a section about fixed expenses, variable expenses, and our guess on revenue and profit. So that's kind of what this section will be. And honestly, if you have the link and you come back to it when we're finished, you will see the updated version of it. Next up is our checklist to launch. Pretty much everything we need to do before we get to launch. And these will probably be like kind of the chapters of the videos that I'm going to create. So you can kind of look through these. And lastly is a message from my husband and I. It's just kind of for those who are, when I apply for like loans, if they're reading this, they kind of know what we're doing is kind of crazy. Like, we're starting with zero money and zero experience on running a coffee shop, but we really want to do it. You got to start somewhere, right? So this is us saying like, we know that's true and we're going to get help and we're going to get support and we're devoted and intentional about doing this. I also hope whoever we work with is Christian, because that is the biggest reason why we're taking this leap of faith, because it's crazy to do something like this, but we have a big God and we know like, if we have big dreams, he can make it happen. He would be glorified. So yeah, we're gonna go for it, and hopefully this happens. I was reading this, I got distracted for a second. I don't know if I mentioned Hebrews Coffee in Texas. You guys look it up. It is pretty much what we want to do. I was so excited when I found out about it. My friend just told me last week. They have like an event space, they have like outdoor amphitheater for worship nights, they have rooms you can rent for Bible studies or events. They have they grow their own like ingredients outside with a really beautiful garden area. So yeah, I absolutely love what they're doing, and hopefully we can do something similar in our own style here. Well, that's it for the business plan. Um, Thanks for being with me. Well, that's it for our business plan for now. We have a little bit more work to do, but until then, I wanted to give you guys the resources I used to create this business plan. So go ahead and head to our blog. That's where you can find the links to the articles I've used, as well as the Canva links and the one-page business plan PDF. Well, we'll see you next week for another update. Bye!